All right, we're going to start our new unit here. This will be Unit 2, and Unit 2 is all about transformations. So I'm actually going to start on page 17 of our notebook. Some of you may have used your pages for other things, so hopefully we can come back on page 17 and be ready. So I like to put a little post-it here where I can put the title. So here we've got Unit 2. Transformations. And then we'll go ahead and title this Unit 2, Transformations. Okay, and a transformation, just to kind of give you a little bit of background here for this unit. Transformation is just the movement of an object through space or on a plane. So there are four types of transformations. We're only going to talk about 3 right now, and we're going to talk about the rigid transformations. And rigid just means that the shape doesn't change in any way. So the 3 that we're going to talk about are translation, rotation, and reflection, which you've probably have heard of all of those, which is great. It'll make this a little bit easier for you. And we're just going to also add into some algebraic equations with these. Okay, so let's get started on page 19. And the first one that we are going to talk about is a translation. A translation is just a slide. Okay, it's a slide up, down, left, right. You can slide it diagonal, anything. If I take, well, let me share my screen with you here, and I'll show you a pretty good example here of translation. So you can see my picture hopefully here in the right-hand corner. And when I get those little arrows, we know that means I can click and I can move it wherever I want. Well, what I'm doing is I'm translating myself or this box across the page everywhere I go. So I can go up and down, I can go left and right, I can go diagonal, I can go in a circle, I can move it everywhere I want. And the surface of our computer is a plane. So I can move it anywhere in the plane. I can't pull it all. I can't push it forward or pull it back or anything like that. That wouldn't be a translation. We have a rule for a translation, and you will need to know this rule. So it starts with XY, goes to X plus minus H, comma, Y plus minus K. And we'll go through what all that means. And this is super important. This will be on the test, on quizzes, on anything we do. This you need to know. Okay? So let's look at everything these do. So this is the original point. So we can say starting. These are your starting points. Every point on a coordinate plane has an X, has a Y. So we are going to be graphing, which is again why I want you to have this graphing notebook. Okay. The X-axis goes left and right. So it measures things going left and right. So if I take some number going left and right and I add it or subtract it to another number, that will either make it bigger or smaller left and right. So this value right here will move the object left or right. In fact, if it is a positive number, it will go right. If it is a negative number, it will go left. Now, y measures up and down. So if I add or subtract any number to it, it's going to shift it up and down or slide it up and down. So if you have a positive, it will be up, and a negative will move it down. All right, so we're just going to kind of play around here with some examples. So I'm going to draw a graph on my notebook here. Kind of a bigger graph, and you can to do this, you can grab, maybe you have a Post-it at home or something like that. And we're going to start with a shape here. Let me grab a pen. Okay, I want to start with this shape. So let's say, this is point A, which is at 4, 3. Let's go to this point, which we'll call B, is at 9, 1. We'll put this as C. C is at 9, 5. And then we'll put point D at 6, 8. So 4, 5, 6, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So D is at 6, 8. And we're going to connect those points with segments. Okay, and we're going to translate this thing around to each quadrant. So I'm going to take my little Post-it here, and I'm going to make that shape. Okay, so I'm going to fold this down to kind of make that shape there. I'll open that up. I'll fold this one over, crease it, and then I'll fold this one over, crease it, and I just know, you can kind of see I've got that line there. So if I cut it out, lights went out. Okay, so if I cut it out, I kind of have that shape right there. Okay, so now let's translate this thing. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I just want to move this thing down 10 units. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this up, and I like to use just one point here, and we're gonna move it down 10 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I line it back up. Notice that these points are still on the crosshairs there. So we'll kind of trace around it, or we can lift it up and put dots. So there's a dot there. There's a dot there. Whoop. There's a dot there. And a dot right there. So then we'll trace that. Now this is a movement of this figure. So we cannot use the labels A, B, C, and D again. So because it was a movement, we use what's called prime notation. So which is just like a little tick mark as a superscript. Okay, so you got A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. Now we're going to use this formula here to kind of give this a name. Okay, so I'm going to draw an arrow here. So we went, let's just draw it from A to A. So we went down right there. That kind of shows us the direction we went. And I'm going to kind of turn my notebook and write it sideways here on this line. So we started with X's and Y's, which were these X's and Y's up here. And then what we did to it, the X values did not move. I did not move it left and right. I did not move it left and right at all. Okay, so the X values all stayed the same. Okay, if you look here, this point here is at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -7. Okay, and this point here is at 9, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the X values here stayed the same, but the Y values changed. And in fact, because I moved it down 10 units, the Y values got subtracted by 10. So we put a Y minus 10 there. Okay. Now let's say I want to move. Let's do another one here. Let's take this shape and let's move it over here. Okay, so I'm going down here. Actually, let's go over here. So we're going to take this shape and we're going to come over here. So we're going to go, let's go 12 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So right in there. Okay. So I could put a dot here. I could put a dot here. And here and there. Now, some of you could probably just figure out that I'll just take this and count to the left 12, and that's okay too. All right, now we already have A and we already have A prime, so I need another letter. So we'll do what's called a double prime. So A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, and D double prime. Okay, we'll just put this picture right here, back on there. Now I went this way, so we'll just kind of go from D to D here. We went that way, and your new D value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -6, 8. So you notice that the Y values are the same, but the X values changed. Okay, let's look at C. 1, 2, 3. So -3, 5. Again, your X value changed, but your Y values stayed the same. So we have our original. You'll always start with XY. Now your X values, we said changed. Well, they changed because I went left 12. So we took this X value and we subtracted, because subtracting goes left 12, and your Y value stayed the exact same. Okay, and we can check this. If I put 6 in here for X, this was the original value, XY. If I put 6 in there, 6 minus 12 is -6. If I put the Y value in there, I get 8, so it checks out. All right, and our last one here, we're just going to go from here over to here. Okay, now I can't show a diagonal move. I can only go left down or left, right, up, down. Okay, I can only do those 4 things. So if I go this way and then this way, that gives me the diagonal move. So if I go left 12 and down 10, let's see where that is. So this is left 12, and then I go down 10. 1, 2, well, let's just count the dots. So we're going down 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice it's even with this B over here, and this is B triple prime. And C is only 4 up from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. C triple prime. Again, it's level with that one. D from C, D is up 3, right, left 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is D triple prime. And A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A triple prime. Again, they're right across from over here. So there's that shape, okay? But if I ignore all that, it looks like I just slid it diagonally. So we can write a rule going from here to here. Again, it starts XY. Okay, starts as XY. And then we got to add both up, down, left, right movements. So I could have went left 12. So X minus 12. But then I also went down 10. So Y minus 10. Okay, so anytime you see numbers with the X's and Y's, it's a diagonal move. If you just see an X number, it's a horizontal move. And if you just see a Y number, it's a vertical move. Okay, so that is translation. You'll have a worksheet or an activity linked on Canvas so that you can better understand the translation and the rules. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.